set? Okay, all right.
Let's see how this works here.
All right, how's this sound? Can everyone hear? Is this necessary? I don't even know if this is necessary. Save the batteries. All right, well, thank you everyone for coming today. My name is Michael Fogelberg. I'm with ProgressMass, Executive Director, and we are working with the action.org to put pressure on Senator Scott Brown to do what the people of Massachusetts wanted to do, and that is to vote to raise income taxes on the top 2%, to end the Bush tax cuts, and to protect Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. We all know that this is what the majority of Massachusetts wants. We all know that this is the majority of Americans want. And Scott Brown does not need to be a lame duck in the lame duck session. He can be a leader and end the Bush tax cuts and vote in favor of Massachusetts and the nation. What I would like to do now is introduce our first speaker, City Councilor Ayanna Presley, who will make a few remarks about this important national issue. Take it away, Councilor.
Absolutely. Michael, thank you. I'm proud to stand in solidarity with Progress Massachusetts and also members of our congressional delegation who recognize how important this is that we protect these critical safety nets. I just want to remind people that as we're talking about negotiating numbers to avoid a fiscal cliff, that we remember that behind every one of those numbers is a person, is a story, and many stories of struggle. And so we're standing here in the cold today to make sure that no one is left in the cold. To remind Congress, while you're lying at the altar of partisanship, you are doing so to the detriment of our seniors and our working families and those who are most vulnerable. Providing the stabilizing anchors of Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid are not only our moral imperative to preserve and protect those, but it's also about our economy as well. Making sure that those families are stabilized, that they have those anchors and they have those supports. And this revenue, any compromise that we consider that we're striving towards, has to include a tax on the most wealthy. Any compromise or package that we're considering. So again, I'm just proud to stand here in solidarity. Let's not forget what this is about. This is about people who are relying on us to protect them. And so I'm proud to stand here in solidarity. Let's make sure that we do the right thing and not push people off the cliff as we are negotiating to prevent a fiscal cliff. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Councilor. And now I'd like to introduce Hannah Gerhardt, who will make a few remarks about why she thinks Senator Brown should vote to save Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and end the Bush tax cuts. Would you like me to hold the microphone screen? Yeah, okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Congratulations to everyone here who helped achieve a great victory on November 6th. In this election, the people have spoken clearly and emphatically in favor of moving forward, and especially for fairness and balance in our economy. So today we're calling on Senator Scott Brown not to be a lame duck, but to listen to the voices of his constituents and to do the right thing for Massachusetts and for the American people. We are in the midst of a great debate about fairness in our economy. For too long, America's middle class has struggled, while those at the top have gained a disproportionate share of the nation's wealth. We have suffered through a painfully deep recession and are finally on the road back, ready to meet the challenges of today. We need to restore balance and build the economy of the future based on initiative, hard work, and fairness for all. As a senior citizen, I cannot emphasize enough how important Social Security and Medicare are to the people who rely on these programs. These are not handouts, they are earned benefits after a lifetime of work.
That's right.
On a personal note, Medicare was a lifesaver for me. I had medical issues before I became eligible, and the cost of care very nearly bankrupted me. Today, if I didn't have Social Security and Medicare, I would certainly lose my home and everything I worked for the last 48 years. And I am not alone. Cutting back on these benefits or replacing them with vouchers would result in pushing millions into poverty. This is not what the voters intended on November 6th. Senator Brown, we need your support and your vote for these measures which are called for by the voters in this Commonwealth. We do not accept solutions that will correct imbalances by cutting back on essential services for the struggling middle class while granting huge tax breaks to the wealthiest among us. We We need you and a majority of Congress to end the Bush tax cuts for the wealthiest, to protect Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security from any cuts. This will bring balance to our system and provide revenues to reduce the deficit and invest in the things we need to advance our economy. And if all of you here agree, then it's time to keep calling our representatives and to use the social media such as Facebook and Twitter and do whatever is necessary to make our voices heard. And the best way to start would be to sign up with one of the progressive organizations such as theaction.org and get involved in doing the right thing for our
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Hannah. That was wonderful. And now I would like to introduce Helena Matthews. Please join us, Helena. She will make a few remarks. She's a college student in the area and is concerned about her future and the impending struggle in Washington. Thank you, Helena.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Helena Matthew, and I'm a student at Brandeis University. On November 6th, Massachusetts voted with overwhelming conviction for economic fairness when they re-elected President Obama to a second term, and when they sent Elizabeth Warren to the U.S. Senate, the first female senator from the Commonwealth. In the face of incredible opposition in the form of millions of dollars, we made calls, knocked on doors, and ultimately proved that we cannot be ignored in favor of the wealthy. We now know that what the people of Massachusetts want, and we cannot let Congress ignore us in the upcoming lame duck session. Some people in Congress would like to see students from middle-class families, amongst others from the 98%, pay more money rather than have the top 2% pay their fair share in taxes. This decision would leave the middle class crippled. Our ability to send our bright and committed children to universities that will make the most of their potential will be injured, and our future as a nation will look much bleaker. With reduced Stafford loans and PLUS loans, our students will bear an immense burden in pursuing an education. The pressure of losing their research funding prompted the leaders of Harvard, Boston University, Northeastern, MIT, Tufts, UMass, among other institutions, to write letters to the Massachusetts representatives expressing their concern over such cuts. This funding goes to supporting students and faculty in research endeavors which support the Massachusetts economy. If the choice is between the CEOs and billionaires of today and the students who are forging the way to a better nation tomorrow, I choose our young people, our education system, and students every time. And I call on Senator Scott Brown and the entire Congress to make the same decision. I'm a global studies major at Brandeis. I work 15 hours a week in a work-study job to support myself through college. My friends and I are confronted with working multiple jobs to stay afloat and keep our debt from college loans as low as possible. I know that young people and students all over this country are challenged by the same issues. I also know that these people are our future and are dedicated to change our country for the better. To preserve that brilliance in the emerging generation and ensure the stability of our future, I urge Congress to protect the middle class from tax cuts for the wealthiest in our country. Please stay involved in this effort. Visit theaction.org to support economic fairness and progress in Congress. Thank you.
Thank you, Helena. Thank you, Helena. I just want to point out to any members of the news media, we will make the speakers available after the event for any one-on-one conversations that would be helpful. So, at this point, I would like to introduce Samantha Nurek, who is the coordinator in Massachusetts for the Action Campaign. Samantha, please take it away.
Hi. Okay, so I'm kind of
You're kind of talking.
I'm talking to you. So
All right,
thank you so much
yeah,
for coming
good
today. Thank you, Ayana Custody, for making it out. We really appreciate it. Thank you to Hannah and Lena for their very insightful remarks. And really thank you to all of you. You braved the cold and the snow and the kind of rain. Really appreciate you making out. This is the first step to making sure that this country moves forward, that everyone gets their fair share, everyone pays everyone does their dues in this country. We worked tirelessly to get the president and other progressive leaders reelected, but we're not done. We learned the real change comes from the ground up, from our communities. We built neighborhood teams, and we need to keep them going to push our leaders in Washington to make the real change that we need. We cannot let Scott Brown allow the wealthy to continue receiving their tax cuts at the expense of the middle class. We cannot let Scott Brown ignore the people of Massachusetts. Today, by coming here, you're showing Scott Brown that we're not done, that we're going to keep fighting.